नमस्कार दोस्तों, पूर्वांचल आईएएस के प्लेटफॉर्म पर आप सभी का स्वागत है। ये है हमारा करंट अफेयर्स कोर्स फॉर यूपीएससी प्रीलिम्स का मेंस का कंप्लीट करंट अफेयर्स कवरेज हो गए। दिस इज फॉर द लास्ट वीक ऑफ दिसंबर 2020। जीएस2 के जो टॉपिक्स है वो हम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं। यहाँ पर हमारा टारगेट है 2021 का यूपीएससी सिविल सर्विसेज एग्जाम। ओके, so we are discussing the topics of GS2 December 2020 के last week के current affairs, right? So let us have a look at the topics. So first topic will be good governance day, and this gives us a chance and time to discuss about good governance in a specific manner. Then India Qatar relations recently news में था, also the national summit on good replicable practices and innovations. Then digital ocean जो initiative है उसके बारे में हम discuss करेंगे. Also the Jal Jeevan mission as part of the social justice topics was recently in the news, so we will be discussing that also. So let us begin with discussing about the good governance day. So good governance day every year हम celebrate करते हैं on 25th December, which is the birth anniversary of the former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji. So उनके birth anniversary के दिन we celebrate good governance day because Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji is regarded as one of the persons who has performed really well as far as his initiatives of governance are concerned, and way he used to do things and the wisdom has been totally a very great thing to have. Okay, so इस वजह से good governance day is celebrated on 25th December, and let us talk about good governance a little with on the light of this particular uh, event. Okay, so good governance actually is very clearly defined by the help of certain characteristics which are given out by the United Nations. तो good governance होना है तो कौन से ऐसे characteristics है that should be seen as far as the initiatives are there, that should be seen in the individuals. ये सारे जो है United Nations ने very clearly describe किया है in its eight characteristics of good governance. So what are those eight characteristics? Number one is the participation of whom? Obviously the representatives to participate करेंगे ही in the process of governance. People's participation should be ensured. So what is happening right now is the politicians are participating, we have the bureaucracy participating in the decision making and the governance process, but people's participation is not at all seen. Okay, so how can people participate? They can be giving their voice in the decision making, like after a law is given out, you can take the opinion of the general public, and after this law is implemented or after a certain yojana is implemented, a scheme is implemented, you can have the feedback, valuable feedback from the people. Okay, so that is something that is very crucial, and that is something which is meant by the term participation. Okay, so decision making में और जो पूरा प्रोसेस है उसमें फीडबैक से रिलेटेड हम पीपल का पार्टिसिपेशन हमें बढ़ाना चाहिए, either directly or through legitimate intermediate institutions. ये काम करना चाहिए, and that will be a sign of good governance ऐसा कहा जा रहा है. Obviously rule of law is very important. You cannot go out of the rule of law, out of the ambit of rule of law. Also our constitution and international conventions and rules. Okay, so that should be our undercurrent while governance, and that is very much important. It should be entailed with transparency. Okay, so people should be knowing, even वो participate कर रहे हैं, that's fine, but they should also be knowing कि what are you doing, right? How is the government process running, and how these decisions are being taken, and information related to that should be put in the public domain, so that the entire process is more and more transparent. Okay, so that transparency needs to be there so that public का in institutions पर और भी confidence बढ़े. Also public needs to know कि क्या हो रहा है क्या नहीं हो रहा है. तो transparency is built on free flow of information, processes, institutions and information are directly accessible to those concerned with them, and enough information is provided to understand and monitor them. Okay, responsiveness. So suppose there is an issue and the feedback किसी ने दिया है, they want some remedy against something wrong that is happening along the system that is harming them. So response बहुत ही जल्दी मिलना चाहिए in a time bound manner. Okay, as far as the governance aspects are concerned. Then consensus oriented होना चाहिए, wherein good governance requires mediation of different interests. So every person has his own interest, has his own way of thinking, and all of these are required to be mediated in a society. Only then governance can be good. इक्विटी होनी चाहिए, नॉट जस्ट इक्वालिटी, देयर शुड बी इक्विटी, जहां पर पीपल हु आर actually unable to reach to their destination, who are unable to move higher in the socio-economic framework, they should be helped, and positive discrimination होना चाहिए. इस तरह से good governance के ये characteristics कहते हैं. And effectiveness and efficiency जो है, that should be seen as far as the processes, as far as the people involved in the processes are concerned. So processes and institutions produce results that meet needs while making the best use of resources. Okay, efficiency should be there, best use of resources should be there, accountability should be there. Obviously you should be answerable, you should be accountable to whatever duty you are performing. Okay, so those are the characteristics of good governance. Then what are the challenges? Corruption, right? That is a challenge जिसको आज तक we have been trying also with the Prevention of Corruption Act, all of these tools that we have, and CVC, Lokpal, etc. all of these we have been trying to deal with this issue. Then delay injustice is a very big thing, जहाँ पर जब delay हो जाता है तो governance properly करना नहीं होता है, right? Because deterrence नहीं रहता. Even though somebody does something wrong, the case drags on till years, और deterrence जो part है वो नहीं रहता है, so they tend to be more and more corrupt. Okay, so these are the challenges, and we have tried to overcome these by coming up with various arbitration and various other methods, alternative justice providence methods. Also we have the tribunals, etc. So right from the constitution till the laws that we make, we have tried to get on track, and we have been trying, and that will be something which will bring Sushasana and good governance in India, right? So we are on the path. The next topic is India-Qatar relation. This was recently in the news because External Affairs Minister met the top leaders of Qatar and discussed strengthening the economic and security cooperation between the two countries. So what were the highlights of this meeting? Recently, External Affairs Minister met the top leaders, and that is why India-Qatar relations are in the news. So India and Qatar agreed to maintain regular consultations and coordination on all issues of mutual interest, right? Discussed ways to strengthen various of their multifaceted bilateral relationships with respect to energy, trade, investment, फूड प्रोसेसिंग, हेल्थ केयर, एजुकेशन एक्सेट्रा. बायलेटरल ट्रेड दोनों कंट्रीज के बीच में है $US 10.95 बिलियन. इन 2019-20 देखा गया था. इंडिया अप्रिशिएटेड कतारी बिजनेसमैन एसोसिएशंस commitment for business partnerships with India and briefed them about new opportunities flowing from Atmanirbhar Bharat. Okay, so Qatari जो businessman association है, they have showed interest in partnerships with the Indian businesses. So that has been appreciated. Now let us talk about the bilateral relations. Talking about the cultural relations, not much historical cultural relations we have, but we have been trying to inculcate that Indian cultural center के through we have been trying कि जो भी वहाँ पर events है, they are conducted in a very formal and proper manner so that the culture of India is reflected there. Also, India appreciated Qatar's support to a as a co-sponsor to its resolution at the United Nations General Assembly. तो योगा से related जो हमने resolution लाए थे United Nations General Assembly के through declaring 21 June as the International Day of Yoga, it has been supported by Qatar, and that has been appreciated. Now, talking about the Indian diaspora, we have one of the biggest diaspora in Qatar. 700 million Indians are the part of they work in Qatar, and they are making their contribution in different sectors. Okay, so they make their contribution in different sectors, including the constructions and various other sectors, and they act as the law-abiding citizens, and Indians are employed in almost every local establishment, right? So, talking about the remittances from this Indian diaspora, around $750 million per annum are sent by Qataris to India, right? So, the economic relations can be much more better, but they are good. So, India is considered to be the fourth largest export destination for Qatar. Also, the Qatar's key exports include LNG, LPG, chemicals, petrochemicals, which they are very good at. Also, plastics and aluminium articles are the part of their exports. India's exports to them are the cereals, copper articles, iron and steel articles, vegetables, plastic products, construction material, textile garments, etc. Okay, so this was related to the economic relations. Talking about the energy relations, we have Qatar being the largest supplier of liquefied natural gas to India. LNG का largest supplier is Qatar. Also, India imports about 70% of its needs for natural gas from Qatar. Talking about the defense relations that we have, India's defense cooperation with Qatar has been limited so far, and we have this exercise that is the Zair al Bahar, which is the roar of the sea exercise of the naval exercise. It is between the Indian and Qatar Navy, right? So this was related to India Qatar relations. Now let us talk about the National Summit on Good replicable practices and innovation. So the Union Minister of Health and Family Welfare India के जो हैं they it has digitally inaugurated the 7th National Summit on this good replicable practices and innovations through a video conference. Okay, so this summit was inaugurated by the Union Health Minister through video conference. What is this summit all about? So new health management information system along with the operational guidelines for tuberculosis services at Ayushman Bharat Health and Wellness Centers, and the operational guidelines 2020 on active case detection and regular surveillance for leprosy was launched at the summit. So initiatives related to leprosy and tuberculosis को continue and और भी ज़्यादा vigor से चलाने के लिए we have launched these initiatives, right, along with the new health management information system. So this summit had the practices and innovation presented in these summits spanned from areas ranging from reproductive, maternal, neonatal, child health, and adolescent health. So this summit was related to health, and all of the areas were covered, like the reproductive, maternal, neonatal, child health, and adolescent health, which are the important areas to deal, and to communicable diseases including tuberculosis, malaria, vector-borne diseases, leprosy, सबसे related जो है वहाँ पर we had the programmatic areas to new areas of non-communicable diseases control programs. Okay, so ये सारे चीजों पर ध्यान दिया गया. In the year 2020, 210 new initiatives came up from the states in the National Healthcare Innovation Portal. So this is the portal which was launched to serve as a platform in the public domain to facilitate collection and dissemination of good practices and innovations that are found to be replicable. तो good practices and innovations जो है कुछ areas में health care से related किए गए हैं, those are uploaded onto the National Healthcare Innovation Portal, and these are to be replicated in various other areas. Okay. So the summit के बारे में अगर हम डिस्कस करें तो डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ हेल्थ एंड फैमिली वेलफेयर हैज वन द डिजिटल इंडिया अवार्ड ऑफ 2020 अंडर द ओपन डेटा चैंपियन कैटेगरी फॉर द ई संजीवनी डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म। तो ई संजीवनी डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म के लिए डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ हेल्थ वन द डिजिटल इंडिया अवार्ड ऑफ 2020 and National Informatics Center under the Ministry of Electronics has been conducting the biennial Digital India अवार्ड्स टू प्रमोट इनोवेशन। तो ये जो डिजिटल इंडिया अवार्ड्स है वो डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ हेल्थ एंड फैमिली वेलफेयर को मिला है एंड दिस इज फॉर देयर ई संजीवनी डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म। ओके, सो ये जो अवार्ड है मेटी के द्वारा दिया जाता है एंड टू प्रमोट ऑल ऑफ द डिजिटल सिस्टम, राइट। सो हेल्थ मैनेजमेंट इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम, ये हमने अभी जो सुना वो क्या है? सो इट इज अ गवर्नमेंट टू गवर्नमेंट वेब बेस्ड मॉनिटरिंग इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम टू मॉनिटर द नेशनल हेल्थ मिशन एंड अदर health programs। तो ये जो है it will be monitoring all of the health programs, mostly the national health programs and provide key inputs for policy formulation। तो किस तरह से they have been implemented, how they have resulted, all of the data will be there, will be available on this information system and policy formulation next time के लिए that will be helpful and appropriate program interventions के लिए that data will be helpful। So this HMIS was launched in October 2008 long back. So currently around 2 lakh health facilities across all the states or union territories upload facility wise data. So they upload the data and that is displayed on this particular web portal. So HMIS has been utilized in grading of health facilities, identification of aspirational districts, review of state program implementation plans। ये सारे में HMIS का डेटा का यूज किया गया है। ओके, सो दैट वाज रिलेटेड टू नेशनल समिट ऑन गुड replicable practices and innovations। Now let us talk about the Digital Ocean initiative. This was recently in the news. So recently the Ministry of Earth Sciences, it has inaugurated the web-based application Digital Ocean। Okay, so this application has been launched by the Ministry of Earth Sciences, which has also inaugurated it, and this has been developed by Indian National Center for Ocean Information Services in COIS in a virtual meeting held in New Delhi। This was launched by the Ministry of Earth Sciences। Okay, in COIS, जो कि Indian National Center for Ocean Information Services, it has developed this web-based application called the Digital Ocean and इसे launch किया गया है by the Ministry of Earth Sciences recently in New Delhi। Okay, so what is this Digital Ocean? So it is a new state-of-the-art data platform for ocean data management। So obviously, as the name suggests, digital data of oceans वो यहाँ पर store किया जाएगा, also that will be managed। It is the first such platform to provide ocean data related services at one place। So ocean data related services, database etc. जो है provide करने के लिए this is the first such set of applications and it facilitates an online interactive web-based environment for data interaction, 3D and 4D data visualization, data analysis to assess the evolution of oceanographic features। ओके, सो यहाँ पर ऑनलाइन इंटरैक्टिव वेब बेस्ड एनवायरनमेंट जहाँ पर 3D 4D सब कुछ आप जो है देख सकते हैं एंड डेटा विजुअलाइजेशन, डेटा एनालिसिस होगा एंड द एवोल्यूशन ऑफ ओशनोग्राफिक फीचर्स ये सब उसमें दिखेगा, राइट। सो ओशन से रिलेटेड सारे जो फीचर्स एंड ऑल डेटा है वो ऑनलाइन स्टोर करने का ये इनिशिएटिव है डिजिटल ओशन इनिशिएटिव, विच इज अ बिग स्टेप टुवर्ड्स प्राइम मिनिस्टर्स विजन ऑफ डिजिटल इंडिया, दैट इज टू ट्रांसफॉर्म इंडिया इनटू अ digitally empowered society and knowledge economy, right? So that is a big step towards that. It will serve as one stop solution for all the data related needs of a wide range of users, including research institutions, operational agencies, strategic users, academic community, maritime industry, policy makers, public, सबको ये data जो है that will be useful। It will also contribute to the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat। Okay, so we have been able to do this on our own, so that is something that has contributed to Atmanirbhar Bharat, and it will play a central role in sustainable management of the oceans. That is what is required. Okay, so sustainable management of the oceans, digital facilities तो हमने use किया ही है. That is a something that has brought digital India much forward, and we are also mainly bothered with sustainable management of the oceans and expanding the government's blue economy initiatives. Okay, so it will be promoted as a platform for capacity building on ocean data management, and for all the so that will be promoted as a platform for capacity building on ocean data management for all of the Indian Ocean Rim countries. Okay, so ये data Indian Ocean Rim countries के लिए भी बहुत ज़्यादा helpful होगा, right? So the next topic of our discussion is the Jal Jeevan Mission जो recently news में था. So ये mission was launched in the August of 2019 और centers ambitious flagship scheme कहा जाता है इसे. So this Jal Jeevan Mission, which is in partnership with the states, सेंटर एंड स्टेट्स के पार्टनरशिप के साथ इस मिशन को इम्प्लीमेंट किया जा रहा है. इट सीक्स टू इंश्योर दैट एवरी रूरल हाउसहोल्ड ऑफ द कंट्री गेट्स assured drinking water supply by 2024. So by 2024 every rural household में drinking water, assured drinking water हो, a tap connection हो. For that this Jal Jeevan mission is working, and it has achieved around 32.3% of coverage of tap connections in rural India already. Okay, so this is regarded to be one of the successful achievements. Already in a year almost ये जो है 32.3% of the population in the rural areas have the coverage of tap connections, right? So that has been really great, or this was recently in the news. So that is the reason ये initiative, ये mission recently news में. So what are the achievements? So actual implementation started on December 25 2019. It has been a year now, और with the release of operational guidelines उस समय जल जीवन mission began, and in almost a year despite COVID-19 pandemic and lockdown as well as restriction, more than 3 crore households को ये tap connection in the rural areas मिल गया है. To ensure its implementation without any funding crunch, 2020-21 में भी a sum of 23,500 crore rupees has been allotted for the implementation of Jal Jeevan Mission. So फंडिंग इसकी काफी अच्छे तरह से हो रही है. दैट इज व्हाट इज कमिंग आउट ऑफ दैट की जल जीवन मिशन की फंडिंग जो है 2020-21 में भी लार्ज सम हैज बीन अलॉटेड टू इट. बिसाइड्स दैट 2020-21 में 50% ऑफ द 15th फाइनेंस कमीशन ग्रांट्स टू रूरल लोकल बॉडीज. तो 15th फाइनेंस कमीशन के ग्रांट्स जो हैं टू द रूरल लोकल बॉडीज, उसमें से 50% ऑफ दैट ग्रांट्स 2020-2021 के दैट विल बी मेड यूज ऑफ फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर प्रोजेक्ट. 30,375 crore rupees अराउंड जो है एज अ टाइड ग्रांट. दैट मीन्स a compulsory grant is being provided for this, which will be utilized for water supply and sanitation, right? So let us talk about this Jal Jeevan mission a little more. So the mission was announced in August 2019, जो कि has the objective of providing piped water supply, हर घर जल. तो piped water supply to only the rural households, okay, because they are in the need. Obviously we have the infrastructure mostly in the urban areas. In the rural areas this piped drinking water is being provided by 2024. So it aims to create a local infrastructure for rainwater harvesting, groundwater recharge, and management of household wastewater for reuse in agriculture. Not just drinking water, it is also concentrating on rainwater harvesting. Okay, तो rainwater harvesting are those methods जिससे rainwater को आप collect कर सकते हैं, and that can be made use of after purification or before for various things, various applications. Management of household waste water, तो household waste water जो है उसे भी manage करना काफी ज्यादा जरूरी है, and that has been happening in a way that can be made use of in the agriculture. Okay, so these household waste water obviously will be having organic compounds, and that can be made use of in the agriculture, right? So that is being implemented by this particular mission. Jal Jeevan mission is said to be based on various water conservation efforts like point recharge, desilting of minor irrigation tanks, use of grey water for agriculture, and source sustainability. So point recharge, in essence groundwater recharge, is also one of the things here, as we have seen, and desilting of minor irrigation tanks. Okay, so minor irrigation tanks की desilting and use of grey water जो भी waste water है, that can be used इन एग्रीकल्चर एंड सस्टेनेबिलिटी, इस तरह से वाटर की जो है वो बढ़ सकती है. तो जल जीवन मिशन विल converge with all other central and state government schemes so as to attain sustainable water supply management across the country, right? So that is something that this mission plans on, and as we have seen, around 32.3% coverage it has made till now. Also, total number of households, rural areas, 19.06 crore households it has reached, or households with tap connections as on August 15, जब ये मिशन स्टार्ट हुआ था, was around 3.24 crore households with tap connections as on December 25 जो है 6.16 crore, 32.3%, all of them have the tap connection. And top 5 states जो है इसमें गोवा 100% रूरल एरियाज में जो है वाटर सप्लाई कनेक्शन है. तेलंगाना has 98.48% of people having households having this. Puducherry 87.3, 81.75 in Haryana, and Gujarat 80%. Okay, so that is about the Jal Jeevan mission, and these were the topics that we had to discuss as part of the discussion on the GS2 topics of December last week 2020. Okay, so in the previous session a few questions हमने देखे थे, तो let's discuss their answers. तो which of these is correct with respect to the PM Vani initiative? Okay, so PM Vani जो था ये वाईफाई, पब्लिक वाईफाई प्रोवाइड करने से रिलेटेड इनिशिएटिव था. We discussed this in the previous class. So it will be providing broadband internet services through private Wi-Fi network in the country. Obviously public Wi-Fi के लिए है ये, and as per the latest telecom regulatory authority of India data, 54% of India's population has access to the internet. Okay, so that is correct. So 2 only is the correct answer. B is the correct answer here. Which among the following statement is correct with respect to NFHS 5, National Family Health Survey 5 का data जो recently release हुआ है, part of it. So with respect to that, we had this question. Institutional delivery is over 90% in 14 out of the 22 states, and in 19 out of the 22 surveyed states. The TFRs, so the total fertility rate has been below replacement level 2.1 से कम है, which is a good thing, and that shows a drop in the population growth. Okay, so C, 1 and 2 both are correct here, and C is the correct answer. Human Development Index 2020, recently seen in the news, has been released by IUCN, IPCC, UNEP, UNDP. Okay, so obviously UNDP here. D is the correct answer. Then mains questions हमने कुछ देखे थे. Describe the issues with the Indian judiciary and the measures taken. So what are the issues with the Indian judiciary? Okay, like we know that delay is one of the issues. So ऐसे कौन से issues है इंडियन जुडिशियरी के बारे में बताइए. लिटिल पॉलिटी का एंगल आप यहाँ पे दिखा सकते हैं. इश्यूज क्या है? लीगल सर्विसेज अथॉरिटी एक्ट से रिलेटेड कुछ है. पुअर जज टू पॉपुलेशन रेशियो, पेंडेंसी ऑफ केसेस इज एन इश्यू. लोअर एक्सेस टू जस्टिस जो देखा जाता है, दैट इज एन इश्यू. एंड मेजर्स क्या लिए गए हैं? यूज ऑफ आर्बिट्रेशन एंड मीडिएशन फैसिलिटीज हैज बीन अ मेजर, एंड ई कोर्ट्स जिससे जो है ज्यादा से ज्यादा केसेस लिए जाए. एंड प्रोविजन ऑफ फ्री legal aid, okay, as part of a few of our constitutional and legal rights, we have the provision of free legal aid. Okay, so these are the measures taken, and also there is need to improve the entire framework still, right? So describe India-US relations in the backdrop of India being put in the watch list of currency manipulators. Okay, so we are having US put India into the watch list of currency manipulators जो कि currency manipulate करते हैं through international markets and local markets में currency का number वो सब manipulate करके value manipulation होता है. तो बैकग्राउंड ऑफ द रिलेशंस आप डिस्क्राइब करिए यूएस एंड इंडिया के बीच का. बोथ आर डेमोक्रेसीज एंड वी हैव कल्चरल रिलेशंस, वी हैव पॉलिटिकल रिलेशंस, कल्चरल रिलेशंस थ्रू द डायस्पोरा. ऑब्वियसली पॉलिटिकल रिलेशंस है. PM Modi recently he was awarded the Legion of Merit award. तो स्ट्रेटेजिक रिलेशंस आप बताए, क्वाड ग्रुपिंग, चाइना एंगल, ये सब बताइए. इकोनॉमिक रिलेशंस क्या है, मिलिट्री रिलेशंस लाइक द मलाबार एक्सरसाइज एक्सेट्रा यू कैन बी टेलिंग. एंड वे फॉरवर्ड में नीड फॉर मोर कोऑपरेशन यू कैन tell about that. So describe the steps taken by the Indian government to increase reach of Indian population to internet. So describe करिए internet advent in India किस तरह से हुआ. तो व्हाट इज द नीड, देयर इज अ नीड टू रिड्यूस डिजिटल डिवाइड. फॉर दैट मोर एंड मोर इंटरनेट कनेक्शंस एंड पीपल को जोड़ने का जरूरत है, इंक्लूसिव बनाने का जरूरत है. ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन के लिए ऑब्वियसली नाउ वी नीड इन दिस सिचुएशन गवर्नमेंट सर्विसेज के लिए जो है गवर्नेंस के लिए इनिशिएटिव्स के लिए वी नीड द इंटरनेट सर्विसेज. सो डिस्क्राइब द मेजर्स. पीएम वानी, भारत नेट, कॉमन सर्विस सेंटर्स आर सम ऑफ द मेजर्स एंड नीड फॉर बेटर इम्प्लीमेंटेशन आप ये कह सकते हो. ओके, सो दिस वाज रिलेटेड टू प्रीवियस सेशन. इस सेशन के आपके क्वेश्चंस है विच ऑफ दीज इज वन ऑफ द पिलर्स ऑफ गुड गवर्नेंस अकॉर्डिंग टू यूनाइटेड नेशंस. पार्टिसिपेशन, इक्विटी, ABCD जो भी आपको सही लगता है प्लीज आप मार्क करिए. विच अमंग द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट इज और करेक्ट. कतार इज द लार्जेस्ट सप्लायर ऑफ LNG टू इंडिया. India imports 70% of its needs for natural gas from Qatar. Next question is related to health management information system. Which of these is correct? It is a government web-based monitoring information system to monitor the national health mission. HMIS has been utilized in grading of health facilities and identifications of aspirational districts, right? So next one is which among the following is correct with respect to Digital Ocean Initiative. It will be promoted as a platform for capacity building on ocean data management for all Indian Ocean Rim countries. First such platform to provide ocean data related services at one place ये है. Right, next question is which of these is correct with respect to Jal Jeevan Mission. It aims to create local infrastructure for rainwater, groundwater recharge, management of household wastewater. ये सब in Jal Jeevan Mission is said to be based on various water conservation efforts like point recharge, desilting of minor irrigation tanks, use of grey water for agriculture and source sustainability. Right, आपके mains questions है practice questions. Discuss about the National Digital Health Mission. Describe the India-Qatar relations and describe the principles of good governance to fight the menace of rising corruption in India. Okay, so or try to answer them. Thank you, all the best. I hope you have liked this session. For any other query, you can contact us on these numbers here.